Hi, and welcome to Module 9 of the Project Management Body of Knowledge 5th edition. In the previous videos, we have gone through 8 knowledge areas from the PMBOK, and we're now ready to look at Project Communications Management in detail. Project Communications Management includes the processes required to ensure timely and appropriate generation, collection, distribution, storage, retrieval, and ultimate disposition of project information. It's important to understand the communication needs of the various stakeholders, determine who is responsible for the communications, including the content, as well as determine the frequency and method of communications on the project. This should all be outlined in the Communications Management Plan. Effective communication creates a bridge between diverse stakeholders involved in a project. In this module, I will be covering the processes in this knowledge area, including Plan Communications Management, Manage Communications, and Control Communications. We will go through each process in detail to provide a better understanding of how this process can be implemented in any organization. We will look at the key inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs of each process, which guide organizations in handling communication activities efficiently. The first process is Plan Communications Management. The Plan Communications Management process develops an appropriate approach and plan for the project communications based on stakeholders' information needs and requirements. The key inputs for this process include the Project Management Plan, which provides information on how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed, and the Stakeholder Register, which identifies all the stakeholders so that we can develop the right communication strategy. The other 2 inputs relevant to this process are enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. These can be helpful and can guide us in planning the communication activities on the project. The tools and techniques we will use include Communication Requirements Analysis, which determines the information needs of the project stakeholders. This also includes considering the number of potential communication channels so that we can get a sense for the level of communication complexity on the project. Communication technology and communication models are used to facilitate the exchange of information on the project. For example, some companies place all project documents on a shared internal drive so that stakeholders can obtain updates on the project as needed. Leveraging the use of technology can be extremely valuable and efficient. 2 other necessary inputs are communication methods and meetings. Through meetings with key project team members, we can brainstorm ideas and strategize on the best way to approach communications on the project and end up with an effective communications management plan. The 2 key outputs are the Communications Management Plan and Project Document Updates. Remember that the Communications Management Plan is a part of the overall Project Management Plan and will describe in detail the overall communication strategy for the project and should include, but not limited to, the following: stakeholder communication requirements, information to be communicated, frequency of communications, and the person or persons responsible for communicating the information. So, what are the criteria for effective communication? Effective communication in any organization means that the information is provided in the right format, at the right time, to the right audience, and with the right impact. When there is an inadequate communication planning, information that is communicated may go to the wrong audience, there can be a delay in message delivery, communication given to the stakeholders may be insufficient, and the message could be misinterpreted. So managing the conveyance, storage, retrieval, and ultimate disposition of project information is very important to the ultimate success of any project. This is the purpose of the next process, so let's get started. In the second process of Project Communications Management, we will discuss Manage Communications. The Manage Communications process creates, collects, distributes, stores, retrieves, and determines the ultimate disposition of project information. The Communications Management Plan, as one of the key inputs in this process, guides the process's activities and decision-making. This process really takes the Communications Management Plan developed in the prior process and implements it. Another of this process's inputs are work performance reports, which are a collection of project performance and status information that may be used to facilitate discussion and made available to stakeholders as requested. Other inputs include enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. These inputs help planners and communication managers understand the organizational culture and how that affects communication dynamics within the project team and within the organization in general. The tool and technique that often incurs the greatest cost in this process is communication technology, which refers to the methods from face-to-face conversation to messaging services to cloud computing that are used to transfer information. It is important to ensure that the choice of technology is appropriate for the information being communicated. In this process, we also use communication models, communication methods, and information management systems. Performance reporting is another important tool that involves collecting and distributing performance information. This could include simple status reports to more elaborate forecasting and progress measurements. Again, we need to know who the stakeholders are and their information needs so that we can tailor our approach to communicating performance-related information to them. It should not be a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, the major output of this process is project communications, which includes all of the activities that are essential for information to be created, distributed, received, acknowledged, and understood. At this point, we are responding to stakeholders' requests for performance reports, deliverable status, scheduled progress, and actual costs. Outputs also include project management plan updates, project document updates, and organizational process asset updates. All of the project communications that we distribute here, such as records, project reports, presentations, or any type of notifications, are kept on file and are considered part of organizational process asset updates. A substantial benefit of this process is that it makes sure that there is effective and efficient communications flow between project stakeholders. This process also ensures that the information being communicated to project stakeholders has been appropriately generated, delivered at the appropriate time, received, and understood. Control communications is the last process in the project communications management knowledge area. It refers to the process of monitoring and controlling communications throughout the entire project lifecycle to ensure the information needs of the project stakeholders are met. This process's key inputs are the project management plan, which includes the communications management plan we developed in the first process. Inputs also include project communications and the issue log, which is used to document and monitor the resolution of issues. The issue log helps to identify who is responsible for resolving specific issues by a target date. As part of controlling communications, we want to make sure that all stakeholders are made aware of the issues, have a common understanding of them, as well as help prioritize them. This log will provide everyone with a clear sense of who is handling the issues, how they are being resolved, and target dates for resolution. The goal is to remove all obstacles so the project can progress as planned. Other inputs include work performance data, such as earned value management values and other such comparisons relative to the performance measurement baseline. And finally, the last input is organizational process assets, as there are many factors that may influence this process, such as standardized reporting templates and technologies that are used by the organization. Key tools and techniques in this process are information management systems, expert judgment, and meetings. Information management systems provide a set of standard tools that the project manager can use to capture, store, and distribute information to stakeholders about the project's costs, schedule progress, and many other factors. Project managers may use Excel as the basis for all reporting or PowerPoint to visually display project information in an easy-to-use format. Meetings are often necessary with project team members to discuss the best way to communicate project performance and provide the stakeholders with the information they are looking for. One of the key outputs in this is work performance information. Again, we need to understand the various needs of the stakeholders and organize and summarize project performance data in a format that is useful and meaningful to them. Additional outputs include change requests, project management plan updates, project document updates, and organizational process asset updates. Note that after stakeholders review work performance information, there may be a need for change requests, such as to add more resources if a project is experiencing a delay. These changes need to be processed through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. Also, because we provide stakeholders with various types of reports, such as forecasts and performance reports, these are considered part of project document updates, which again is one of the outputs of this process. For a project to be successful, it is essential to monitor and control communications throughout the entire project lifecycle. The key benefit of this process is that it ensures an optimal information flow among all communication participants at any moment in time. I hope you've enjoyed learning about project communications management, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll begin our discussion on project risk management. Thanks for watching.